Hello, my Jason O, and welcome to my Blu-ray review for Fate Stay Night. And so with a Fate Apocrypha on the starting points, I think it's after 2 weeks as of filming of this video, I decided to review the start of the Fate franchise, starting with Fate Stay Night, the anime adaptation of Kinko Nasu's visual novel in 2004. This Fate Stay Night, the original, was released in 2006, done by Studio Deen, and it's a much more different interpretation, at least it's a different visual interpretation as we've seen of Ufotable once they've taken on the Type Moon franchise for themselves in Fate Zero, all the way to Fate Stay Unlimited Blade Works very recently, one of their adaptations, and this year they will come out with one of 3 movies in Heaven's Feel, Presage Flower, their adaptation of the Heaven's Feel route. The 2006 Studio Deen version of Fate Stay Night is supposed to adapt the Fate arc of the visual novels. However, they delve into the other versions of the visual novels into Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Feel as well, creating a very muddled and a very out there version of the Fate series itself. As for the Blu-rays themselves, they're pretty nicely done, I would say. The covers are pretty well established for what each Blu-ray will cover. I think the first Blu-ray covers episodes 1 through 12, while the second collection collects 13 to 24. However, disappointingly, the Blu-rays, they don't include any actual special features. They only include special features for Sentai Filmworks, other licenses, trailers for those, and also disc credits as well. It's not really much for behind-the-scenes sort of things, which is disappointing, because that's kind of why I like to buy Blu-rays for the behind-the-scenes and special features that are involved for any either anime, film, or TV property. And so disappointingly, Fate Stay Night does not include special features. However, the Blu-ray quality is very well done for mostly the backgrounds. I would say the backgrounds really stand out in the Blu-ray quality as opposed to watching it streaming. I watched a little bit of the series on Hulu, but I finished it with the Blu-rays, and glad I did, because the action scenes and the backgrounds really do stand out a lot more with the Blu-ray quality. However, not everything comes crisp and clean in the Blu-ray quality. Animation-wise, there's a lot of still frames that don't really look that great, and the Blu-ray quality doesn't really help that in any sort of way. There's a lot of bad 3D rendering at times, especially episode 12. There's a 3D rendering of a dragon, which is probably one of the worst 3D things I've ever seen in anime. The Berserk remake might be rival to that. So if you thought the Berserk remake was bad because of 3D rendering, this 3D rendering in Fate Stay Night will probably rival that as well in a not so good way. As I've said before about the story, it's basically the Fates route through and through, following Saber as the main heroine. You have the Saber-Shiro relationship really in the forefront, and in my headcanon, in the Fates universe, isn't really my favorites of that type of shipping for Shiro and Saber, but they do it pretty well enough to really flesh out the Saber character. Some could argue that Fate Zero does that as well, but you get much more different side of Saber as we've never seen before, thanks to the interpretation of the Fate routes done here. However, there are some things added from Unlimited Blade Works. If you watch the remake of that by Ufotable, you'll definitely notice some similarities that are done here in the Fate Stay Night 2006 Studio Deen adaptation, where there are some elements of Unlimited Blade Works. If you know anything about Heaven's Feel, you'll definitely see a bunch of those as well, especially with the Sakura and Rin relationship really being shown there in terms of their sisterly bond, and you get to see a lot more of their background there, which kind of ruins the pacing a bit. They kind of built that up as a final climatic finale. However, there's more go after that with the final battle between Saber and Shiro against Gilgamesh, and also Kirei involved as well. And so it's lots of muddled pacing going on, with lots of fast-paced action mixed in with some slower pace and some slice of life material added in as well. It really ruins the pace for this what's supposed to be a grand epic fantasy anime. If I were to just recommend one of the Blu-ray collections for you, if you are, strict on budgets, I would say Collection 2 is the better out of the two collections for Fate Stay Nights. That features more of the better episodes, especially episode 18, which serves as a very good climactic episode for this series. Episode 12 is pretty good in Collection 1, but it's near the end there, because that's one of the more better overall episodes. There are music, animation, and story and action all mixed in together to one really complete good episode. For me, definitely the music, as I said before, it's really fantastic. The ending theme, the way they animate that with the mix of the Blu-ray quality, the music, the theme song in there as well, it's really fantastic to look at, and it's really one of those that you just cannot skip every time you come across it. The music on the score, it does really do a good job differentiating itself from other Fate series, other than Fate Stay Nights, from the Unlimited Blade Works, the remake from Ufotable, Fate Zero, as well. The music does a good job of differentiating from that. It's also fascinating to see some scenes that were sort of redone by Ufotable, so really seeing that really changed as well from Fate Stay Nights, with the Saber Shiro scene, seeing that in a different light from Studio Deen's interpretation into Ufotable's adaptation. And then you also have the front posters from the Unlimited Blade Works movie done by Studio Deen, which was released in 2010, and also the poster from Unlimited Blade Works, the TV series done by Ufotable. It's really fascinating to see all those differences mixed in with a bunch of other differences as well. Very nice comparing and contrasting. You can check all those out on Reddit. I'm sure you can find those there, but it's pretty fascinating to see that the way Studio Deen did their Fate Stay Nights and compared to Ufotable's Fate Stay Nights. One of the bigger flaws story-wise, other than the pacing, is the development of the Shiro character. Unlimited Blade Works did a good job at developing Shiro. Talking about the Ufotable Unlimited Blade Works there. And for this, for Fate Stay Nights, they did a poor job of developing Shiro. We have all the Shiro-isms, though, trying to care for others, caring for others more than himself. You have a bunch of those there. I'm not really a big fan of Shiro in that aspect, but there are some positive aspects of Shiro that I do like, and those positive aspects are in Unlimited Blade Works. However, in Fate Stay Nights here, we've mixed in a bunch of all the three routes together. They really don't do a good job of developing Shiro as a character. He comes off more annoying, and you don't really get the backstory or the background of all of why he's doing everything that he's doing. It just comes off more as annoying, and really does a poor service to his character. And so for a rating for the Fate Stay Night Blu-rays, I'm giving both of them a C+. Not really a fantastic version of Fate Stay Nights, not really one of the better ones out of the whole entire Fate project as a whole. Fate Grand Order, First Order, Fate Stay Nights Unlimited Blade Works, the television series, and also Fate Zero. Whether you want to watch Fate Zero first or Fate Stay Nights first, this version, it's really up to you. I can really see a case where you could watch this version of Fate Stay Nights first, because you can get all of the through lines and the backstories, and to really see all that come to fruition Fate Zero, or the other way around, we watch Fate Zero and really see all those storylines coming to fruition here, because this is one of the more proper sequels to Fate Zero, if you wanted to interpret it that way, because Unlimited Blade Works doesn't really go through all the storylines there. It's obviously other routes that really take care of all that there, but if you want to really see all the through lines, all the storylines from Fate Zero really play out into Fate Stay Nights, this is probably the series for you here. You also have mixed in with a lot of fun fight scenes with Saber versus Rider, the final battle between Saber and Gilgamesh, and also Archer versus Berserker, where you get the full prayer from Archer. I don't really remember hearing the full prayer on the Blade Works, but still you have a very different version of that here in Archer, doing that against Berserker. And you also have the very nice character designs done by Megumi Ishihara. Very good interpretation of the original character designs by Takashi Takeuchi, very nice, very closely related to that there. So for all that being said, it's very interesting points for Fate Stay Nights. If you're a Fate fan, you probably already watched this. If you haven't already watched it yet, I would recommend watching it, just to really give off your opinion of it, and really see how far the Fate franchise has gone since the beginning of 2006. And so what do you think about Studio Deen's version of Fate Stay Nights? Pour your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit the notification bell to make sure you get notified whenever I post videos on this channel. Thank you for watching my Blu-ray review for Fate Stay Nights. Hope you have a nice day. Bye bye.